You can perceive the moment's reality as it exists for your intestine or your hand, and experience with practice the present inner peace and commotion that exists simultaneously within your physical body. This brings a great appreciation and wonder, a sense of unity with the living corporeal material of which you are physically composed. With practice, you can become as intuitively aware of your internal physical environment as of your external physical environment. With greater practice, the contents of your own mind will become as readily available. You will see your thoughts as clearly as your inner organs. In this case, you may perceive them symbolically through symbols you will recognize. Seeing jumbled thoughts, for example, as weeds, which you can then simply discard. You can request that the thought content of your mind be translated into an intense image, symbolically representing individual thoughts and the overall mental landscape. Then take out what you do not like and replace it with more positive images. This does not mean that this inner landscape must always be completely sunny, but it does mean that it should be well balanced. A dark and largely brooding inner landscape should alert you, so that you begin immediately to change it. None of these accomplishments are beyond my readers, though anyone may find any one given feat more difficult than another. You must also realize that I am speaking in practical terms. You can correct a physical condition, for example, in the manner just given. If so, however, by examining the inner landscape of your thoughts, you would find the source here that initially brought about the physical ailment. Feelings can be examined in the same way. They will appear differently, with much greater mobility. Thoughts, for example, may appear as stationary structures, as flowers or trees, houses or landscapes. Feelings will appear more often in the changing mobility of water, wind, weather, skies, and changing color. Any physical ailment, then, can be perceived in this state by looking inward into the body and discovering it. Then, by changing what you see, you may find yourself entering your body or another's as a very small miniature, or as a point of light, or simply without any substance, yet aware of the inner body environment. You change what needs to be changed in whatever way occurs to you. Then, by directing the body's energy in that direction, by entering the flesh and bringing certain portions together that need this adjustment, by manipulating areas of the spine, then from this adjacent platform of A1 consciousness, you perceive the mental thought patterns of yourself or the other person in whatever way you find characteristic of you. You may perceive the thought patterns as quickly flashing sentences or words that are usually seen within your mind or within the other mind, or as black letters that form words, or you may hear the words and thoughts being expressed, or you may see the earlier mentioned landscape in which the thoughts symbolically form into a picture. This will show you how the thoughts brought about the physical malady, and which ones were involved. The same thing should then be done with the feeling pattern. This may be perceived as bursts of dark or light colors in motion, or simply one particular emotion of great force may be felt. If it is very strong, one emotion may be felt in many such guises. In the case of both thoughts and emotions, with great confidence you pluck out those that are connected with the malady. In such a manner you have made adjustments on 3 levels. A1 may be used also as a great framework for creativity, concentration, study, refreshment, rest, and meditation. You may evolve your own image of this state to help you, imagining it as a room or a pleasant landscape or platform. Spontaneously you will find your own symbol for this state. This state may be used also as a step to the next state of consciousness, leading to a deeper trance condition, still relating, however, to the reality system that you understand. Or it may be used as a step leading to an adjacent level of consciousness 2 steps away, therefore on the same level from normal reality. In this case, it will lead you not into a deeper examination and perception of the present moment, but instead into an awareness and recognition of what I will call alternate present moments. You will be taking steps aside from the presence that you know. This leads to explorations mentioned earlier in this book into probabilities. This state can be extremely advantageous when you are trying to solve problems having to do with future arrangements, decisions that will affect the future, and any matters, in fact, in which important decisions for the future must be made. In this state, you are able to try out various alternative decisions and some probable results, not imaginatively, but in quite practical terms. These probabilities are realities, regardless of which decision you make. Say, for example, that you have 3 choices, and it is imperative that you select one. Using this state, you take the first choice. The alternative present is the moment in which you make that choice. Having made it, the present is changed, and quite clearly you perceive exactly the way it is changed and what actions and events will flow from the change into the future that belongs to that particular alternate present. You do the same with each of the other choices, all from the framework of that state of consciousness. The methods in each case are the same. You make the decision, you then become aware in whatever way you choose of the physical effects within your body. You enter the body as you did in the way I gave earlier for healing. With great sensitivity, you are able to see what physical effect the decision will have, whether the state of the body remains the same, whether there is a great sense of health within it, or the incipient beginning of great difficulties. In like manner, you explore the mental and feeling aspects. Then you turn your attention outward toward the environment that results from this alternate presence. Mentally, events will appear to you. You may experience these strongly or merely view them. They may become so vivid that you momentarily forget yourself. But if you maintain your contact with this level of consciousness, this will happen seldom. As a rule, you are very aware of what you are doing. According to the situation, you can do the same thing to find out the effect of this decision on others specifically. You then return to normal consciousness, going through the A1 state that you used as a preliminary. After a period of rest, return and make the second decision, and again the third, following through in the same manner. Then in your normal state of consciousness, of course, you make the decision that you want from the information and experience that you have received. The names make little difference. For simplicity's sake, call this level of consciousness A1A. Then there is an A1B, you see, still adjacent to this one, and still starting off from an alternate presence that can be used for many other purposes. It is not as easy for the ordinary individual to enter, and it deals with group presence, with mass probabilities, racial matters, the movement of civilization. It is one that would be most beneficial to politicians and statesmen, and it also can be used to probe into probable past as well. Here it would be a benefit in learning of old ruins, for example, and vanished civilizations, but only if the specific probable past were probed in which these existed. The next adjacent level would be A1C, which is an extension of the one just given, in which there is greater freedom of action, mobility, and experience. Here, to some extent, there is some participation in the events perceived,